Hello everyone, it's just Meekwo here today, and welcome to my review of the LEGO Star Wars Clone Scout Walker from 2005, set 7250. This is a pretty cool set, I think, so let's take a look at it, starting as always with the figure. So the only figure in this set is the Recon Clone Trooper here, and this is of course the older style of Phase 2 clones with this helmet that I think is really cool. It might not hold up to today's standards for some people, but personally I think it looks way cooler. I love the cutout visor, and just everything about the style I find way better than the new one, even if it is admittedly less accurate. Speaking of less accurate, he is equipped with this old blaster build here, which obviously, again, does not meet today's standards at all. But personally I like it. I like the nostalgia, even though I was like very young and didn't even know what Star Wars was when this set came out. But I do think this is a really nice figure. I love the red markings on him especially. He has some on the back as well. Yeah, I think this is a really good figure, good addition to a clone army. But if you're someone who prefers the new stuff, I guess that's understandable. But me personally, I prefer older stuff like this. Surprisingly, the ATRT or Clone Scout Walker build really is not too much different from the ones we see today. Obviously, the newer ones are a lot better put together, sturdier builds, and have much more consistent and accurate colors. But I do think this one looks really good for its time, especially if you compare it to some other 2005 sets. They really haven't had to change the design that much. The legs and the feet are kind of messy in my opinion, like the grills and stuff don't really make it look like a clean build, especially the backwards joints here for the top of the legs. And the feet have holes in them, which is kind of strange. I mean, it's not terrible, I guess. I just think it was a strange choice. The actual joints on the sides here with like the dish pieces, really, like I said, are not very different from what you'd see today. And just like today, it's also not very posable. You can get it to stand in some alternate poses, but usually it looks a little awkward and doesn't stand like exactly how you would want it to. So it's not the best thing for that, but at least it's some posability. I'd say it's better than the 2019 one in terms of posability, because you can get it to stand in some different ways, whereas the 2019 one, you can really only put it in one position. The upper part of the build is pretty nice, I think. I really like this print up here, even if that green is not a very accurate green. And I don't really know what this print is supposed to represent, just add some additional markings, and I do appreciate that. There's nothing to stop it from turning except like these handlebars, I guess. So there's no real like set way to have it, which is kind of annoying to me because I wish I knew like the best way to pose it. You can also move the entire front, which I'm not sure if that's very accurate, but it is pretty cool. And then the gun at the bottom also can rotate. Obviously no play feature here, but it does look pretty good. And then the seating area has 4 studs, so I don't even want to put the clone on it because that's just going to be annoying to take him off. And the handlebars are most likely going to get stuck in his hands if you put them in his hands, so I'm not going to do that either. But you get the idea. I think that the area looks pretty cool. I don't know why they incorporated dark red and green and tan here. Kind of weird color choices, but I do think it works, surprisingly. And there's a lot of like awkward Technic stuff down there. But overall, it does look pretty nice. You have one antenna on the back, just a small one there. You can also hold the old blaster type thing here, you know, whatever you want to call it. You can just kind of attach that right here, and it does show that on like the instructions, so that is an intentional feature, though kind of strange, but also appreciated, so you do have somewhere to put the weapon. Overall, I do think, even though it's not the cleanest build and the most like updated build, it does work. I didn't get the box with this set, but I did want to take a moment to look at the instructions here because they're pretty beautiful. I love the Kashyyyk background here, and the Revenge of the Sith, like fire and Vader helmet. Really cool. In the back, you have a Star Wars the video game ad for the first video game, which is really really cool to me how that's in there. And then there's like some Lego Club stuff. And some ads for the other 2005 sets. I want like all of these because 2005 was just a great year for Lego Star Wars in my opinion. You also get some alternate build suggestions as usual back in the day. These are some pretty interesting ones. I do like them actually, they're pretty cool. Back in the day this retailed for $10 and that's a pretty fair price. It's 108 pieces, evens out pretty well. Nowadays you can find ATRTs for $30. Of course they jam side builds and more pieces into it, so it's not like all the new ones are just terrible deals in comparison. Especially considering this one will probably cost you about $30 if you want to buy it used off eBay or something like that. But I personally find this one to be worthwhile. I think it's a cooler design personally just because I like the older styles and I like the older style Clone Trooper as well. If you prefer the newer stuff, you're probably better going with the 501st set, but I personally love this one for what it is, so I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I will see you in another one.